My top priority is fighting inflation and lowering prices for families and things they need. We're going to keep working to fight inflation and lower costs to all American families for a lot of other things as well.
Joe Biden trying to turn the political tide with his presidency in peril over inflation. Biden set to bash Republicans as voters grow increasingly frustrated with higher prices. A new Gallup poll shows 52% worry about maintaining their standard of living and 40% stress over paying their bills. The president also facing backlash over a baby formula shortage. Retailers now limiting how many products customers can buy due to a combination of inflation, supply shortages, and product recalls. Jesse, you were heavily medicated during this, a lot of this stuff. So I'm interested in where you see this going. He's going to speak tomorrow. Do you have any thoughts?
So the Putin price hike is not working.
Yeah, it's gone now.
The White House has a new line of attack. They need to sharpen the contrast with Republicans in the midterms. So you're going to see Biden getting hyper-partisan and just blaming everything on the right. The country's not buying it. We know we printed and spent way too much money. Fauci shut down the economy, and we put all our supply chains in China. So when we opened back up, boom, the dollar got destroyed. Everybody that has common sense understands that. But Biden could not be in a worse political situation. You can't blame China, you can't blame the Fed. So this is on him right now. He's now having a looming global recession, a stock market that looks like it's kind of shaky, inflation at record high, and now there's shortages of not only electricity, Greg, but baby formula.
Right.
And let me tell you, baby formula is very expensive. The average family spends $1,500 a year on baby formula. And so you have a baby formula recall happening at the same time as baby formula thievery, because you can get a lot of money on the black market. People are making, I think, it was like $4,000 a week just stealing baby formula. They have to lock it up like they do toothpaste now at the Walgreens. And so now they have like Operation Milk Money, where the feds have to go in and bust up these baby formula ringers. It's a really, really sad situation. You know, if you're not breastfeeding, you'd be out of luck.
Yeah, thank God I'm not. Oh, Mayor Pete's okay. So, Harold, in the green room, you were just saying, I think it's time that Joe has to resign. I was really surprised you finally said that. What would be your advice for this week before he does resign?
Well, I didn't say that. I think you might have misheard. Look, the inflation is what's going to be the centerpiece of the debate come fall time for Democrats and Republicans. I think Republicans are right to raise these issues, but they won't win unless they offer solutions. It's easy to say that prices are up. We all know that. We all know we're paying more for things. I give the president more credit this week, and I've called balls and strikes on him over the last several weeks. I give them credit for at least traveling outside of Washington, trying to find those examples of where investments are working. The fact that we have a Javelin production plant that he went to, you can like him or not, but I think that was the right thing to do. The fact that he's going to Ohio to tout the semiconductor chip plant. These are the things that we have to be producing, not only to unclog the supply chain, but to ensure that we're able to produce these things here.
How about a baby formula plant?
And then you know what? I would focus on that as well.
Yeah.
Crime, inflation, and the border. That's all I would be focused on if I were in this White House, sending this president and vice president out to come back with answers and solutions, things that we can, not just gun control, and I think that has to be part of it. But, Greg, you've been the greatest advocate for mental health issues that need to be addressed on streets across the country. Judge, you've talked about the need in a very serious way around, we all have, but you about cash bail reform. These things are out there for Democrats to grab hold to, but we should not kid ourselves. People do not believe economically they're doing better or going to do better. We have to erase that notion or address that notion if we're to win.
Judge, that does explain why this Roe v. Wade thing is because they don't have an answer for this other stuff.
Well, there's no question about it. I mean, the
cure
point,
for the baby formula is more abortion.
Well, yeah, I'm not even going to go there. But I agree with Harold. I do. I mean, he's trying to do anything he can to run away from the fact that everybody knows that their money isn't buying them what it bought them last year. People are frightened. They're not afraid. They're afraid they're not going to keep the same standard of living. They're afraid that they can't do the things that they wanted to do. They don't have enough money. And every day they go to the gas station. It's a problem. And you know what I think is incredible? I went yesterday because my daughter brought her baby to the house. And I went yesterday. I had to run to the drugstore, which is like a minute away. And I looked for baby formula in CVS. And because Kiki said, my daughter Kiki, don't call her that anyway. She said they have it in CVS. So I'm thinking to myself, CVS, that's where they go and they like just load up everything they need. I mean, and of course they had none at that CVS. And so I went to the supermarket. They didn't have any.
Oh.
And so now apparently, you know, people are hogging it and then selling it at all kinds of high prices. It's a shame. But you know what? Biden can't get away with it. He can blame the devil. I don't really care. But people know what the problem is.
I've seen gangs, Dana, of roving babies out on the street, just taking the baby formula from other babies.
Are you just eye level with that?
Yeah, I'm eye level. It's disgusting. So, are you changing any of your birthday plans because of inflation? No bouncy castle?
No, I had to let that one go. You know, it was too expensive.
Do you notice one thing, though, about how Joe supposedly has a reputation for empathy? However, when it comes to this stuff like that, it's always like these things will pass.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, you know, it
It's
doesn't.
so interesting because we've talked before about how they don't listen to us, but they don't have an early warning system at the White House of like, this is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I remember when I was the deputy, I had to read all the papers, and there was this one story about the Dubai ports thing. And for days, it was in the Washington Times, like in the back pages, and I was like, I think this is going to be a problem. And everyone blew me off. It's not going to be a problem. It became a gigantic problem. This baby formula problem is not new. It's been going on for a few months. So it seems to me like nobody is at the White House going, excuse me, Mr. President, we're going to have a problem here. Yeah. And because you have moms who are so anxious. I talked to several moms today. We actually had one on Newsroom as well. She says every family member in 3 states, in Kentucky area, looking for baby formula. They're looking everywhere. And the White House can close its eyes, it can cover its ears, and they can scream Rick Scott 1,000 times. And it's not going to change this fact. They needed to prepare people. I'm not saying that they can fix it overnight, but they had, all of a sudden, this is like the first time they're talking about it.
Yeah, you know what's I have to say, this is so ironic. I mean, the media is more alarmed by an abortion shortage than a baby formula shortage. What does that say?
That's a good point.
It is kind of interesting. Because the moment this thing happened, everybody exploded. But this has been going on for a while. No one gives a damn.
Yep.
Interesting.
They got to follow the moms groups.
Yeah.
Got to follow them.
Listen to the kids crying for their baby formula. I don't even know what it is.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.